There we are. Hi, guys. Oh, this is not like showing up right. Um, are you seeing this incorrectly on Twitch as well?
It's coming in fine for me on there, and Chris is in there. How's it look? Lost Irish guy.
It might be maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So we are live actually right now on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm so excited about that. Oh, hi. So today we are going to be talking about Clairsentience. And of course, we are here with Cortney of Erie's Witchcraft channel. Thank you for joining me, as always, honey. So Clairsentience. This one, actually, I find that I do have this one as well. I don't think I've always recognized that that's what I had. Meaning, I would think that, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? Because I'm feeling this all of a sudden, like, like heart palpitations or something. But then, just like the readings that we were doing the other night, when you started having like these physical things that were happening to you, and Maria was as well. And I'm just sitting here, I could start feeling like shooting, like electricity running through my heart. And it was at that moment that I realized that's what it was. It's not me. It's something else I'm picking up. But and I know that you and I have talked about this also, about like you'll pick up on like pains and stuff like that maybe Chris is having, and the same for me with my husband. I will pick up that stuff. So,
or you and I have even shared, like, I'll get chills and you'll get chills, like instances like that as well.
Exactly. So let's see. Let's say hi to everybody coming in. Hi, Lost Irish Guy, and Jen, and Maria, and Betsy, and Tangi. Hi, guys. Yeah. Do you guys like the mic? Hopefully this is going to be sounding a little bit better. Hopefully we're done with Robot Guy. Knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood after saying that. Robot voice. And I think I fixed my camera a little bit too.
I think it's lovely. What do you guys think?
Technology. Yeah, does it sound a little bit better? Does this sound better to you guys?
Mufasa.
Someone's here. LOL. Maybe she will be. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, Jan and Nancy. All right. So do you want to get us started, honey? What did you discover about Clairsentience?
Well, I have pretty much what it is. So clairsentient is an individual who perceives in like a sixth sense type of way feelings or having knowledge about a person, an object, or extreme psychic ability that is clairsentient is able to visualize an item without seeing an image of the specific item. Like a radar detector, clairsentient possesses the initial power to see and feel radiation from objects that are invisible and out of sight. Clairsentience can sometimes read auras of people, or read objects or landscapes.
Well,
and would you like me to go ahead on the signs of like the ability that I discovered, or did you want
I don't
to?
think I got anything on that.
Okay.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though. I think a lot of these intermingle with each other, anyways.
Oh yeah.
See, I've always thought of Clairsentience. Been watching too much Star Wars. I love it. What?
Oh, I'm so sorry, honey.
No, it's fine. If you guys, yeah, go ahead.
We're bad. Sorry, honey. Yeah, I did want to add that I looked up scientific studies when it comes to clairsentience, and now science is actually stating that this is no longer just like a psychic woohoo stuff, according to them, that clairsentience is actually something that we all have, and some more so than others. So I did want to add that in there. I stumbled on that.
Just so you guys know, any of you that have done like live talking with other people, interviews, or sometimes the cameras or the voices are not going at the same time. So it seems like we interrupt each other a lot. And we do, but we don't care. Am I right? We don't care. And we're also, if we don't get it out, and I know Cortney is exactly the same way. If we don't get it out when we're thinking it, we're so squirrely mind that we just lose it. So we got to we got to say it. We got to say it.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? Y'all seen True Blood with that one elder fae that was operating on a whole bunch of frequencies, and she's just all like, woo, like that's how it feels until you get it out.
Yes, exactly. My eyes are watering, my nose is running. I'm live, right? Oh, but I was going to say that what I got more out of clairsentience is like it's like clear empathy, like amplified.
Right.
So you're picking up on people's energies. I didn't really know that it connected with the vision, like seeing the auras and stuff like that. When was it more about feeling other people's auras, or was it actually seeing it?
Feeling it, I believe. Sorry if I had said otherwise, but it's feeling. Which reminds me of, like, how I said I've read on locations, like things, feeling it, the energy. I think that would fall under that category as well, from what you're describing too.
I would think that they cannot deny this scientifically anymore, because how many times we've talked about this? Somebody goes into labor and their significant other is the one that's actually having the labor pains, like sympathy pains. Where's that come from?
Right.
What about twins that are connected and they have like a language between each other? Something can happen where one of them gets hurt or something happens, and another one that's across the country can feel it, right?
It's crazy that you brought that up, because my sister's a twin, and when they were young, my mother actually and I and my aunt experimented with that. And what had happened in this experiment was she took my sister, and they're fraternal twins, so imagine, identical twins. So she took my sister and had her sit on a heating pad with it on low, and then my brother had him play with his toys and ice. Well, about 30 minutes, they come out. My sister says her hands are cold, and my brother says that his bottom was warm. And they did not let them know what they were doing or attempting to do. And so it's real stuff.
Exactly. I believe that. Oh, yes. And look at what Tangi said. Women can talk over each other and converse at the same time. It's like a superpower in and of itself. Yes, it is. Especially if you have lots of kids and all your kids are like, no, blah, 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 blah. You're like, okay, you. Right?
Imagine us in group chat when it goes crazy.
Exactly. So yeah, what I have, I think this is really close to, what is the other term that's used for, is it psychometry? So like when you pick up an item, let's say I got this at a secondhand store, right? Or this was part of like an estate sale or something. Somebody had passed away. But let's say this was in one of the main rooms and part of that person's energy was attached. Oh, of course. And of course, Soli's remarking too. Can you hear him as loud with this? You still can? Damn it.
That's okay. He's our boy. I think everybody now that's been watching you a while, it's like it's not the same if Sully doesn't say hi.
Yeah. But actually picking up on something like that, and yeah, it's Sully. Team Sully, right? Actually picking up on it and seeing things in the items and feeling emotions that was attached to particular items. And I think that's called psychometry. Psychometry. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, a heightened sense of physical sensations. Pick up on physical aches and pains other than just your own. I mean, experience a lot more physical pain than the average person. So we have people that have like fibromyalgia, and I know for a long, long time, they couldn't even, diagnose that, right?
Yep.
Could that be part of it? Like your actual physical energy body is picking up on that stuff.
I've wondered that because the more studies that go with fibromyalgia, the more it is so widespread. The symptoms are just so vast and pertaining to different areas of the body and all over and our pressure points. And I mean, you got pelvic issues, you got stomach issues, you got headaches. What doesn't come with that? I always questioned, is it because that we have these certain abilities and perhaps the doctors just, they're skeptical. They cannot diagnose the psychic ability. So they got to term it something,
Well, I mean, think about it. Really, as far as the medical field goes, they are only trained to a certain degree. Right. They can only advise on stuff that they're taught, right? And this is not the kind of stuff that is in like medical school, maybe psychiatry school or something like that. But I would think like physical ailments and stuff like that. That's why I say like Western medicine in comparison to like Eastern medicine is totally different in regards to a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting because with fibromyalgia, like they'll say I have flare-ups and stuff, which I do. But usually with flare-ups, I notice like people around me aren't in too good of a mood or they're hurting because days I'm like really in pain. Someone else in my family will be like, I'm really hurting too today. So it could be.
Fibro feels like fibroglass woven through tissues in me. Oh my God.
Or like barbed wire. I explained it almost like barbed wires all over your muscles.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that's when I had my really bad gout flare up this last summer when things were like really, really bad. And there was a lot of confrontation and a lot of emotional crap. That's when I got it.
Now, here's an interesting one I came by that I think we should discuss. So what about, have you ever perceived or got to the root of someone's problems that they're confiding in you with that person can't even identify? Like, have you been chatting with someone? Because that apparently is one of the symptoms I came across that I find interesting because I feel like you and I do that for each other as well,
Yeah. Yes, I think that is a huge part of it. Because you're actually picking up on, somebody else's energy field. That's what it is. And I mean, taking it to an extreme. I mean, it's like one of the things that we had talked about on Clear Empathy was the temperature and how the environment can mess with you. That's one of them for Clairsentience as well. So like I said, like before, I know that there's storming coming. I'll feel it like 2 days ahead of time. I'll get like pressure in the back of my head. And the first thing that I always say is there's storms coming, not tomorrow, the next day. And I'll be a son of a gun if they're not coming in 2 days. It's like my body tells me. But how many times have you been to the doctor and you already know what's wrong with you? When you tell the doctor, and that's why I always say, when you go to the doctor, tell them everything. Tell them everything. They can't properly diagnose unless you're telling them every bit. But nobody knows their body better than they do, right?
Very true.
So how many times have you gone and say, well, I think that this is happening because of this, and I think this is happening because of this, and it comes out after you get blood tests and everything else. Yeah, that was correct. That's exactly what it was.
Yep.
I think that's part of it.
Oh, most definitely.
Oops. I saw years ago on TV, they talked about humans having two brains, the head brain and the logical brain, and our guts are the second brain, the emotional brain, connected through the spine and nervous system. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. So you have like your, thought intelligence, and then you have like your emotional intelligence, right? Yeah.
Very true.
Our extra sets of senses are always connected to our physical characteristics. So when you have a psychic thing, it's connected to a physical thing and vice versa. Yeah. Yeah. I feel thunderstorms coming. Get certain migraines then. Yes. When a thunderstorm is coming, afterwards, I'm fine. After it's gone through, I'm good. But building up to it, I feel it. I feel it in my body.
What's interesting is I hear a lot of people say that they get that in their head before storms, and so does Chris. But if I feel a storm coming, it's more in my chest center. I feel like a chaotic, but I'm comfortable in that. It's like a chaos type energy that I'm like, ooh, yes, and I feel that pressure till it comes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I always get it in my head, right here, the back of my head, or it comes around to my temples. But it usually starts like right back here.
Almost like a crown, like an energetic crown. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It also says that you can sense energy in the room. So, and I've talked about this before earlier in the series when I started it, actually a couple of years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but when, let's say you're at home and you're cooking dinner and the hubby walks through the door and your back is turned to your hubby, and let's say the hubby had a bad day at work, and before you even turn around, before he says anything, instantly, it was the same thing that you said, that you knew when something was going to happen with your ex-husband, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's that. It's like your body is giving you warning signs ahead of time. Yeah, you're super sensitive to the environment. You have strong gut feelings about people.
Yes. Sometimes
you don't listen to them, and then you get yourself in trouble down the road. Yep. And then when you do listen to them,
Oh,
yeah. Also, big crowds of people are hard.
Yes.
Full capacity airplanes for me. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Also, you understand that everyone and everything alive is inherently an energetic field. You have a bit more of a feel for energy because you understand that's how it operates and works, and we're all connected through energy. Literally everything.
I'm picking up on somebody's migraine right now. I'm feeling it right here. My left-hand side.
No way. I had on the side of my eyeball here, like not all the way to the temple, but like right in here.
Yep, I'm picking
very
it right
mild. Up. It was mild for me.
It's mild. Wow. It's mild. The worst thunderstorm migraines are when the storm doesn't really happen and just lingers in the air. Oh my gosh, yes. Then I wish for lots of thunder and lightning so that I can feel better and stop being nauseous. Absolutely. Yes, I get that. I thought for years everyone had this. No, not everyone has this. I think they do. It's just not amplified, or they don't know that that's what that is. They just think, gosh, there must be this wrong with me and this wrong with me, this wrong with me, when they're actually picking up on, the environment or picking up on other people's energy, because everything is energy.
And we're programmed all the time to think for the most logical explanation. And I think that hinders people's access to their own abilities,
Mm-hmm. I have to go off to myself a lot in gatherings, not because of bad, just all the energy. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. You're just picking it up. I've talked about this before with the concerts for my daughter. There would be so many nerves in these kids before they have to get up and perform that I would be the one that's in the audience just a friggin' wreck. I'm like, I want to be there to support my kid, but I'm like, I need my shields and this is before I realized that's what was happening to me.
Right.
I would just be like a ball of nerves. I'm like, why am I so nervous? I'm not getting up there. I'm just sitting in the damn audience. But it was horrible. I mean, almost like panic attacks and
Yeah.
sweating and heart palpitations. Ay, caramba. I think that is what a lot of people that suffer from anxiety and stuff. I think that's what it is. And panic attacks. They're picking up on someone else. Yeah. Or just the changing energies or what have you.
I agree. There's times I've had anxiety attacks so bad for no reason that I thought I was having a heart attack. And
Yes.
yep.
My mom could get some degree of thunderstorm migraine, not as much as me, but none of my friends or coworkers really got this. I don't think any of my family that I know of gets it. Maybe my sister, maybe my mom, but I don't think anybody else.
I feel like this ability could explain a lot of what we see too. For example, religious groups practicing in their church, one gets up and starts this trance-like dancing, they're feeling the vibe. Then before you know it, everybody's speaking in tongues. Are we picking up on that in these instances?
Mm-hmm.
There are many examples you could use for that, but I feel very much like this ability has something to do with that, what they call like mass hysteria.
Yes. Oh, I think the world has been experiencing that all of last year since the C word came into contact. I think that there was probably a lot of people that got sick and weren't really sick, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They were picking up on the world's energy and taking it upon themselves, and they would have symptoms, but negative. Right?
Yep.
I think that happens. And I know that on some of the other chats that we have talked about, and I've seen it mentioned on Betsy's channel, talking about like the throats, like when you start talking, maybe when other energies, like, because this doesn't have to be just energies that you're picking up that are like on this realm. They could be other energies from other realms, like spirit guides, what have you, that you're picking up their energy. So sometimes it might cause you problems, like you're, you can't understand why all of a sudden you're coughing, or you got a sore throat or something like that, because you're picking up on other stuff. Right. And I do remember I read another book by one of the ladies that did Ghost Whisperer. She was one of the ladies that was a writer, a back writer for some of the stories. And she experienced a lot of that stuff. And she said that if you have spirits around you all the time, it will physically make you ill.
Yeah,
it will drain your life force. Yeah.
It kind of messed up with my liver, which I told a lot of you guys last year. I still have to get that checked. However, through channeling and kind of clairsentience with other beings, they told me I have the ability to heal myself. So I did a lot of work with trying with that. So,
one of the things that I watched years ago that got me started on the law of attraction was The Secret. And right after that came out, I've said it before in here, I forced my whole family to sit down and watch it. My kids were little. I'm like, sit down, watch the whole video. I'm telling my husband, you need to be watching this. I told my family, my sister, my mom, okay, you guys got to see this. I'm telling you, we'll talk, but watch it. And I can't tell you how many times I watched it. But one of the things that they talked about was a lady who had been diagnosed with cancer. And so she did not take any treatments. She only surrounded herself with comedies, and she didn't really tell people because she didn't want other people's energy, because once they know, then it changes. People change. And so she didn't want to draw any attention to it. She started watching comedies. She just ignored it. When she went back 3 months later, it was completely gone. There was nothing there. her own emotional status changed the illness in her body.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's so true, because what we believe and what we're feeling is what manifests. So that makes complete sense to me.
Yeah. I was just wondering how many cancers are clairsentient. We are being called moody, emotional. What if a lot of that is not even ours, but cancers are picking up on other energy, water signs in general? Absolutely, honey. I definitely believe that.
Because crabs, don't they even take breaks from the water and come out a bit before they go back in?
And why do you think they need to have their hard shells as boundaries, right? Yes. Scorpios too.
Yep.
And then Pisces.
We hide under a rock, and we're but not only do we have our shell, we're very skeptical about coming out of that rock for these reasons. So it's very difficult to get us out from under there.
I love that name. Mom passed 4 years ago, so I'm very thrilled to see and feel you here. Made my heart sink in good way seeing your name. I'm not sure who she's talking about. Oh, Betsy. Oh, that is wonderful. And I'm sorry for your loss, honey. Yeah, on Amber's chats, we discovered that almost all of us intuitives had chronic sore throats as kids. Yeah.
Yep.
I once heard of an athlete who got rid of HIV by doing sports and being in a positive mindset. I believe that. Aries just push people around. Nah. See, I think that's only when they're negatively aspected. I think Aries are confident and leaders, and
they don't run from conflict. Apparently. Yeah. Or it's the stereotype of it is like confrontation, like a Viking.
Right. Come at me. I dare you. Right.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah. I'm Leo, Cancer cusp. Yeah. And well, you're Scorpio, right?
Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio Mercury, Scorpio and my Pluto. My rising is an Aries.
In Western, mine is Capricorn, Cancer rising. But in Vedic, it is Gemini rising and Capricorn. But I'm on cusp on both of them, Capricorn cusp in both of them. Just the other ways. One is Sagittarius and then the other one is Aquarius. But in Vedic, I do have 4 planets in my Scorpio, which is Mars, Venus, Neptune, and Pluto are all in my, when Scorpio.
I change, and I'm still Scorpio there too. I have a lot of Libra there as well in Vedic, but knowing my actual birth time now, I'm like, wow.
Aries are secretive when it comes to their true feelings. Yeah. My daughter is very introverted Aries. She's very gifted. Yeah, and see, that's just one aspect too. If that's your sun sign, that's only one aspect, right? The thing that we watched also, the video that I showed you that was from Gaia, and the guy was talking about, it really put things into perspective for me. When he was talking about like your rising sign, right? You might be this, but no matter, and he used Aries as an example. If your Aries is your rising sign, it doesn't matter anything. It doesn't matter if you're deep and emotional and giving. All they see is just pushy Aries because that's your rising sign. That's what people see. That's what you project or that they see.
Which is interesting to me because I'm like, I never seen that until they put that into perspective. Then I asked people around me and they're like, well, yeah, you are kind of like, Aries masked to the world. Like,
yes. Oh, yeah. All confused. Aries seems to be very independent as well. Yes, my son is an Aries. And he is. You can tell him, and he's like, no, I'm going to do it my way. Even if it is the hard way, and he's going to do it his way. Okay.
I'm like that too.
Yeah. I think we all are at a certain age, aren't we? Your parents can tell you, and you're just like, nope, because they told me, I'm not going to do it that way. Right?
I haven't grown from that. Maybe I should look at that.
Yes, knowing your birth chart placements is very helpful in understanding your life. I think so too. Absolutely. I think it is our blueprint.
Yeah.
Part of our blueprint. Yeah.
I agree.
That's my belief. But so do you find it difficult to watch the news?
Oh, yes.
Yes. That's part of this. Do you find it very difficult to watch very emotional movies because it can put you in a tailspin?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, some people think it's ridiculous how emotional I get watching things like The Notebook. I will be a puddle. And there's things I cry about even in music videos or reading a book. And Chris is looking at me like, really?
Yes. And how many times can you watch like the same movie, like The Notebook? Okay. The Notebook. And I'm just like, oh, I mean, you can feel it like in your heart. Like, oh, it's killing me.
No matter how
those are the best. Yeah. Oh, I cry at commercials sometimes. So do I. Definitely do. I can't watch a Disney Pixar movie without crying or musicals. Yes.
I still cry when Mufasa dies or Old Yeller, so.
Oh, I love that. I love the fact that the optometrist that I had years ago marked down my sun sign in my file so he could understand his patients better. That is friggin' excellent.
We need more.
I wish more were like that.
More.
Yes. Yeah. I don't watch the news either. Yeah, it's like a trap. I'm telling you, it's like a trap. I can't watch it. Make sure I'm keeping up here. For me, it's songs. Songs can make me choke up and start crying. Oh, yes. Definitely songs. Oh, thank you, honey. Healthcare provider. Yes. Yes. Me too. I have a hard time separating my feelings from what is being depicted on screen or page. Yes. How many times have you guys even like, okay, let me give you an example. This is funny. Rocky, the Rocky movies.
Oh.
When he's up there fighting, I mean, I would be like up in the screen, like, yeah, give him a left, give him a right. Come on, kick it. You know, I mean, you just can't like separate yourself, right? I mean, I can't. My kids are like, they can't hear you, Mom. Just stop. I'm like, I can't help it.
Same. And I always felt like an oddball for it because people are like, well, you get so like, it's intense, you know.
Love you, baby.
When Rocky wins and he's hollering for Adrian, like I bawl. I'm crying. I'm like, oh, he's calling for Adrian.
And I mean, like the Rocky music, dun, 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 and when he's like going up the stairs and stuff, you're just like, yes. I mean, it makes you want to get up and move, right? Yeah. And music, when you're listening to music, you just got to get up and, you know, shake your booty or whatever. That's one of them here is the feeling of getting up and moving and stuff like that. And having to, I mean, when you watch me sitting, I'm like shifting a lot. I'm like moving like cheek to cheek, right? Yeah. You can tell when someone has had a bad day. Definitely. Yes. Some people, you can feel them as soon as they like, let's say you're picking them up and they get in the car and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you feel your chest like, oh, right. Just like heaviness.
Or like going to check out at a store, you can tell if like people are going to be rude to you or not. Like just someone having a bad day, like before they even show like they're having a bad day. I've had it to where I can approach a cashier, for example, and I can tell if they're going to kind of be an ass or not, like to me, or vice versa, you know, as an example.
Yes. Yes. Or let's say, for instance, you are in a line and this person is in a crabby mood and you think, well, I mean, how many people have they come across that are just treating them like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
And so you start a conversation with them and you get them to smile and you make small talk and stuff like that. Or you're in line with somebody and you just start talking to them, right? That's what I do.
Too.
You know,
I
I
love
don't know if people like their boundaries, but I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. Or I compliment or whatever, just to start it.
yeah,
Always.
always.
I'm a crybaby. I'm at peace about it and I don't hide it anymore. And my family finally just love me for being so accepting of my feels.
I
That's
love it.
right. Yes. Imagine what it feels like for me in the nursing field. Oh my. I have to really check my emotions to maintain professionalism. I
I
don't
did
think
it.
I could do it.
I did it for 13 years. I feel you there.
Mm-mm-mm. I really just don't think I could. Every time when Toto escapes the wicked witch and runs away as fast as he can with his tiny little doggy legs, I lose it.
I love
Yes. That is the worst stuff. Watching like animal stuff, like Animal Planet. Oh, doing the surgeries or abandoned animals. And then afterwards they get rescued and you see the afterwards. That just like, I mean, I feel it in my chest. It just, oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, that is so emotional. Uh, oh my gosh, I sobbed in the birthday card section. I'm so sorry. I have done that too. You read a really good card and you're just like, oh. I mean, later you can like laugh about it, right?
Yeah.
But it's the other way around too, though. If somebody's laughing and having a good time, it's hard for you to not pick up on that as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. When I watch a scary movie and I can't take the suspense, I just turn off the sound, make it easier. Yeah, the music definitely gets you.
I love it.
Goodness, the drum. Oh my gosh. We were just talking about this. We were reminiscing about being in like the car when you were teenagers. Did any of you guys do this when you were younger and you would get with your girls, you'd be driving down the strip, right? And the music would just be blaring. And I mean, the bass would be so friggin' loud and you could feel it in your body. Now, as an adult, and we were just like, oh man. And you know, you'd have people that were in their vehicles next to you, like, don't turn that crap down, you know, whatever. But now as an adult, if I am next to someone, even with our windows up and their bass is going, I can feel it like vibrating through my body. It's like, oh, come on, honey, you got to hurry up and get past these people because my body cannot take it. It just can't take it. But I
The
used to be one
drum.
of them.
Oh, the drum. Yes. You know, Wardruna or other like Nordic music that I listen to and I have it loud with a bass. It's like with that and then their voice, how they can vibrate their chords and stuff. I feel that. Like I take that in and it gives me such a energetic vibe. And it's weird. I could be in the worst mood, listen to it, and it'll like raise my energy or vibration. It's amazing how that works.
Another part of that you talked about also that you like doing and you've always done it and you didn't know it was something that they really did in Ireland was like the footwork, just like the jumping. When you hear certain music, you
Oh,
just got to move and jump, right?
shuffling. Yes, shuffling. Like how many people in the audience, or am I too old, used to be dancing back in the day when trance, techno, and house music was big. I know Europe has kind of a different way I've noticed of shuffling and stuff, which I find really awesome and amazing. Um, and what is that dance the Irish do? Oh my gosh. I
The river
forgot the name.
dance.
Yes, thank you. The
It is
river dance.
amazing.
Yes, it's like they're taking that and shuffling. And I feel like these things help us release that energy that we're sensing that's
Mhm.
building up in us. Anyway, that's how it feels for me. And I'll get up and like just dance, freestyle, move any way I can, or Are you aware of crumping? A lot of people dance in a style called crumping, which it kind of mimics or looks like they're fighting or battling, but in a dance style way. And it can release a lot of like anger, frustration without actually being violent.
I love that.
It's really interesting, but I am a firm,
Breakdancing.
I was a
I mean, you could
big
even
dancer.
think of that.
When I was
Yeah.
younger, it was life for me because it was such a release and a vibe of power, emotion, and it was such a passion of
Mhm.
mine.
Anyone else cry and feel gutted whenever a neighbor has a tree cut down? It rips me in half. So I do a healing prayer for the tree and it helps it cross over and then I'm fine. Oh my gosh. Not just that. When you go to zoos, I used to be able to go to a zoo when I was a little kid and just love it. Now it's so sad. It's like heartbreaking. I can't do it. I mean, I feel so bad for all those animals that are in cages and having to live their lives like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
just sad to me. I feel sad when I'm there. I can't enjoy it.
I feel
So,
like as a species, we have a responsibility to animals and those that we see like under us when it comes to the food or however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
If we're more intelligent than them, we should look out for that, not overpower them just because we can.
Yes. Yes, pretending I don't notice how crabby someone is. Oh, sorry. You want to take over these for a little bit while he's going at it?
Sure, let me see where we're at. Okay. I didn't know you were a nurse, Cortney. Yes, for 13 years. I had to quit going on 2 years now due to some issues, messed my back up, in the field. I had a resident fall on me. I was trying to save them from falling, and I know that's against what we were trained to do. We're supposed to ease them to the ground with the belt, but all I was thinking in the moment was I didn't want them to fall and get hurt, And yeah, so unfortunately, I did love my job though. Love it. I miss my patients and residents. That was the highlight of my day. Was an ER tech. I don't know, but I prayed my hand be where they need. All carried herbs to burn on my break. 10 years. Wow. I love that. Yes. I would bring crystals and other things in for my residents and be like, here you go, set it on their little tables and stuff. Yeah. I just wanted to do that. So, oh, sorry, I skipped one. Oh, no, I didn't. Eyes are playing tricks on me. My sister gets that she's a tree druid of some sort. Interesting. I get like that, yeah, cruising Broadway. It's here.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, tree druid. I love it. Me too. I like that. I'm not familiar with that term, but I like it. So moon rising tarot agrees totally. I do feel the pain when a tree gets cut down too, Tangi, especially when it was a healthy tree and no reason to kill it. Yes, I do agree. I feel that way though. If I get to thinking about it, I feel that way with a lot of other living things. Like I used to go because I thought it was cool and push over the top of an anthill that hardened just so I could see all the neat tunnels. But the ants would scatter and like abandon it later. And later on, I started feeling bad once the curiosity left. And I was like, wait, I just destroyed their whole freaking civilization.
Oh,
So,
you want to know what's really bad about that? My mom said I would, when I was little, I mean, really little, I would sit on the sidewalk and I would push down on the bottom of the ants and just watch them squirm. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like learning or whatever. And I felt terrible after she told me.
I think one thing after our spiritual practices, our paths, is that it opens up the ability to understand those things, right? Because before I worked on myself spiritually, like really worked on myself and took a look around, realized how connected everything is. I always hold my breath when watching a movie where I know the jump scare is coming. Then I won't jump. I'll know it's coming and then still jump because I'm extra.
Yes, you are extra.
I am extra, guys. I am.
House
I
music.
stand
Yeah.
or dance by the speakers. Oh my God, yeah. House music. Oh.
Yes.
She says yes. Exactly, Angela. It's so heartbreaking. Irish dancing.
Yeah.
He's like,
I love watching the river dance. It amazes me how they can get their legs to bend up like that. I'm like, wow, look at that. Look at them go. Yeah.
Gotta run out clinical at the hospital today. Love you all. Thanks for conversation. We love you too.
Have a good afternoon, sweetheart. So a few other things that I wanted to talk about really quick. It says you are in tune with your physical body. As a clairsentient, you are hyper aware of the subtlest energetic shifts within your own body. You may be a little more sensitive to food, allergens, or even to moon cycles. Because of your heightened senses, you may even experience psychometry, which is what we were talking about, which is the ability to unfold facts about objects and even people that you touch. Another one is celestial bodies speak to you. So sometimes you may feel very different at the new moon than what you do at the full moon. And you may want to start tracking some of that because you'll get a lot of clarity about who you are as an individual and how to manage your time according to the celestial shifts. So, and you know what? I think certain people will pick it up more, even when you think about like when Mars is like together right now, or when we have like conjunctions of certain planets together. Like, what did it say for in 2020 that like 5 of these planets, were like all together, and that's like the last time it caused like chaos on the earth and all kinds of stuff, right? So there's something to that.
Oh, I believe that, definitely.
Another thing it talks about is feeling connected to history. Clairsentients are interested in things like museums, history, or going into like haunted houses or old houses because they like to pick up on the energy. Yeah. You're very curious about what it would have felt like and what the experience would have been to live in certain time frames and stuff like that. Yes. I'm always, yes. Arranging things in your house. So you practice, or the practice of feng shui is also very important to you, which it is. For me, it definitely is. The belief that you may, or the way that you organize and live in your space is something that resonates with your inner being as a clairsentient. Yeah, because everything has an energy, right? Correct. So depending on the placement, everything, depending on whether or not even, like if you're looking at a beautiful picture or a beautiful statue and it puts you in a different place. That's why.
Always.
Yeah. Another thing is you indulge in self-care. Taking care of your physical body is also going to be very important to you as a clairsentient. Diet and exercise are part of your routine. And let me get rid of that. You appreciate healthy food and what it does for your body. You may also need a little more sleep than the average person in order to physically recover from your daily activities. Yeah. Yes. They're hypersensitive even to clothing. I have this thing, and I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I cannot sleep with any like wrinkles under me or anything. My mom is the same way. You've heard the story of the princess and the pea. That is like me. It's got to be like completely flat. If anything is like wrinkled up or anything, I can't sleep. certain clothing can irritate me. That's
Clothing can irritate me. How I sleep, though, oh my gosh. I'm not even bothered. Like 0 F's to give if I'm going to sleep. But I've noticed recently my shirt rising in the back when I sleep has been bugging me. But when I was younger, I was so much receptive, not learning how to close these things off. And I would sleep for hours. I'd be up all night though, but sleep for hours during the day just because I needed to recuperate and did not want to be around anyone because it was always.
Yep. Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
Oh.
Hi, Marie, or hi, Julianne. That's why I don't allow people to touch me without permission, as I feel everything about them, like Christopher Walken, a character in the Stephen King movie, The Dead Zone. Oh, yes. And cemeteries love them. I've never been freaked out by cemeteries either. No, I'm not going walking through them at night, but I find them beautiful. Do you? Of course you do. You gutsy broad. You are a gutsy broad.
I walk through that like I'm a damn goddess of the cemetery. No.
You are.
Is anyone else like that? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I didn't.
No. Don't worry about it.
I was just curious because I know it's like a childish thing, but like really low key, are we all like that? Like if you walk through a cemetery and you're alone, do you prance like I'm goddess of the night? I own the stone here.
Or I need to own that more.
Is that just me?
Next week we are going to be talking about either for some people that don't want to have this particular thing, how we can shield ourselves, kind of like the same thing that we did in the clear empathy. However, for those that actually want to strengthen this, which I could see where this, using it the right way when you're doing readings. Now, next week, I did want to also have joining Cortney and I, Bosadie B from McCallie Sunflower. Because when we were talking, she gets so many of these things happening in her body when she's doing readings, tarot readings.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, in private, when we were talking afterwards, she told me a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. I mean, like intimate stuff that happens to her during these things. Wow. And I just seen a shadow behind me. But so I'm wondering, if you can set the intentions for some things, can you set the intentions with like spirit guides and stuff like that to say, okay, if it's something to do with blah, 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 yakety smackety, make me feel it here, or make me feel it here, or do this to me, or do that to me. So is that something that we could do, I wonder, to use while doing readings and stuff?
You want me to answer that now in short?
Yes.
Oh, most definitely. When I do house readings to communicate with whatever's in there to help people, which I used to do a lot, I would set the intentions for certain things exactly like that. And it worked wonderfully.
So like, for instance, if you think someone's going to get married, maybe all of a sudden have a little tickle on your ring finger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that you set up with spirit. Give me some info, right?
Right.
And some people might already have this really, really strong already. But let me catch up here. What was fun? Yes. Sorry, it just went. I'm loving this conversation. I have a Zoom call in 10 minutes, so I must go. Well, thank you, sweetheart. Have a good one. And we're going to be wrapping it up here too, guys. But I wanted to kind of set that up. Now, we're going to be, these are a little bit earlier in the day now because I have a psychic development course that I am taking. And it's going to be for like the next 7 weeks. And it happens to be on Mondays. And so I had to set these a little bit earlier It's going to be at noon Eastern Standard Time every Monday going forward. So hopefully I can get B, because I know the time is different. It's going to be like 6 p.m. I think for her. So hopefully she can come and join us next week.
Okay.
Because everything that she feels as well, I think is really cool for us to, really, really touch on.
I'd love to hear what she has to say.
Exactly. And it just came to her like naturally. These things just started happening and she put it together. I was like, wow, that is really friggin' cool. So, but I think we got everything covered. Let me just make sure I do that when I go to the dollar store. Oh my God, shopping the aisles.
Oh, yeah.
Out of my way, right?
Yeah. You go into the Dollar Tree with $20, you feel like a millionaire, or I did at least.
I need my glue sticks. All must bow.
Love it.
I don't see why bot. Why not? Yeah. Earlier actually works better for me. Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Cortney, as usual, you make everything better. I love you, sweetheart. Thank you for doing this with me always.
Ditto.
We are on Twitch also, guys. Mine is Amethyst Ascension on Twitch. However, I forgot to put the S in it, so it's spelled incorrectly, and I can't change it for 3 months. So it is what it is. And Cortney is Twitch Witch Gaming on Twitch. So please go and check her out as well, because we are live here and we're live over there. So, and if you are on, and you're going to be, yes, on Saturdays as well over on her channel for the Angels and Demons series.
Yep.
And so if you are on Twitch, come and check us out. Aries Witchcraft on YouTube and Amethyst Ascension, spelled the correct way, which should be down below anyways for you guys, or in the about section. But thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful week, and love you guys.